Yeah, hey, drop. Yeah, hey, drop. Yeah, hey, drop.
Every player on the ice has a 10-minute misconduct, among other penalties.
I have never.
Sam and Aaron can't hear me?
Mhm.
You can't?
No.
You can't hear me? Okay, sorry about that, guys. Welcome back to another episode of 10-Minute Misconduct. I got Sam and Aaron joining me tonight. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Okay.
All right. Well, really quick before we get started with Liam, we have some kind of sad news. We decided that next week is going to be the podcast last episode, just due to unforeseen circumstances. It just April Fools. Anyway, let's bring Liam in and get started. I hope everybody is having a good April Fool's Day. I know I have fallen for a couple of jokes. So, hi, Liam. How are
I've
you tonight?
fallen for so many today.
Me
Hey
too.
guys, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. You even got me with that joke.
I was hoping. Hopefully, I sold it. So, thank you so much for joining us. For anybody tuning in that is not a Dragons fan, Liam, why don't you tell us kind of your job title and a bit about your job description?
Absolutely. So my name is Liam Gotimer. Sorry, I have to every time I say my name. It's just a just rite of passage. But no, I'm the broadcaster, play-by-play broadcaster and manager of media relations with the Columbus River Dragons. So essentially, it's two full-time jobs packed into one day. I wake up as a researcher, spend the afternoon as a PR person, and well, by the nighttime comes along when the River Dragons are playing, I try to keep up with a 100-mile-an-hour hockey game. So that's my job.
Definitely the year has been interesting of how you kind of came in and stuff and kind of working with the organization that you're new to. Like how difficult is that to try to come in and fit different organizations standard, I guess?
Absolutely. Well, I'll say first and foremost, I've been lucky enough to join the premier organization, not just in the FPHL, but you could argue in all of minor league hockey with the River Dragons. So that's a great start. I had 2 years of experience in the ECHL with the Atlanta Gladiators, which really did give me a really good idea of how to do this job, and more importantly, how to do this job exceptionally well. So I think whether I'm in the same environment or a different environment, I just take all the things I learned and put it into action. And luckily, I've been able to do that and create quite a rapport with the fan base, which I'm grateful for.
Columbus has such a great fan base too, and such like a loyal fan base. Um, So I'm sure, not only is Columbus a premier organization, they have a premier fan base, and it's got to be a fun place to come into and to not get started because you do have 2 years of experience, but to come into and just be able to hit the ground with your feet running and get going. I feel like it was just yesterday that Columbus was making the announcement of who was coming, and here we are almost to the playoffs.
Right.
What has been some of your favorite parts of that chaos of a year that you've had?
Oh my goodness, that's such a loaded question. I have so many answers that I want to put out
Give them
there.
all. Give us them all.
I wouldn't say any specific game. It's been every single game because when the River Dragons are playing at the Civic Center, fans show up and they show out. 3,000, 4,000 fans, and that's even on a slow night. On our bigger nights, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 fans filling the building. That's easy to call a game behind. So I would just say every single game night, just to bring it forth in a little bit of a broader perspective. On top of that, the community. I mean, the community is just so wonderful. Being able to get acclimated with all of the different avenues that make the River Dragons the premier organization that they are. So I've just really enjoyed my time here. It's a special city. It's a special fan base, and I'm ready to rock come the postseason. I'm ready.
I love the energy. So I don't know if you know, but we used to be stationed at Benning, and that's how me and Sam met. And the energy, it has been unmatched anywhere I've been since moving away from the area. But I'm curious. I have watched a ton of games that you've called. How do you keep up? Because I've heard one time recently the NHL had like a technical difficulty and just no play-by-play. It for me at home, I was like, wow, the game is not quite as interesting when you're watching it on TV. So kudos for your energy. But
Thank you.
how'd you learn to do it?
Yeah, you're definitely not going to be bored listening to me call a hockey game. At least I hope not. I learned in college. I went to the State University of New York at Oswego, which is Division III hockey. It's a 4,500 seat arena. It was the Murano Campus Center. Now it's the Deborah F. Stanley Convocation Hall, I think. But that's where I got my start. The radio station, the TV station over there, WTOP and WNYL, they're top notch. I remember my first game like it was yesterday. I was awful. And I just kept at it. And I only had 6 games of experience by the time I went into the professional ranks. So a lot of it for me has been learning on the fly, both in my time in Atlanta and now here in Columbus. But I'm really proud of how I've been able to develop as a broadcaster, despite kind of coming into the profession with a little bit of a lack of experience.
Did
If I could really quick, I just wanted to piggyback off what Liam said with where you learned. One of my billets actually goes to school. He plays hockey there at Oswego. So I think that's
Nice.
super cool so shout out to Manzi. Hey, buddy, hope you're doing good. Go ahead, Sam.
Let's-
Sorry about that.
Let's go Lakers.
Yes.
not the LA Lakers? Oh.
We can root for them too. That Luka guy is pretty good.
That's about the only one I'd go for.
Right on.
Now, when you joined college and stuff, did you want to actually do media into the broadcasting, or is that just kind of something you seen and was semi-attracted to, or like how did you go with that one?
All right, it's story time. I was waiting in the line to confirm my major as a freshman. I was literally ready to sign the paperwork. Education major with a minor in history. I wanted to teach high school history. And in the line, I overheard a conversation between 2 individuals who were ahead of me, and they were discussing how you could do play-by-play and color commentary for hockey at the arena. And I hadn't, I had known about the arena through my tours, but I hadn't really gone in there and really seen the whole scope of it. So I asked them, I butted into their conversation. I was like, wait, you tell me I can go and broadcast? It's like, yeah, TV and radio, just go and get yourself involved. We got a great hockey team, top program in the SUNYAC. And in that moment, I said, okay. I switched right on the spot. Best decision I ever made.
Huh.
Yeah.
Love that for you. Congratulations from a fellow SUNY student. But
Oh,
I
where'd you
didn't
go?
realize. I'm currently so I live in Binghamton, but I'm currently enrolled through Morrisville.
Oh, sweet. Nice.
So, but I'm enrolled. I live in Binghamton. I'm enrolled through Morrisville, but I attend the Norwich SUNY Morrisville campus. So all
Okay.
over my little part of New York. It's a little crazy.
I love
Um,
that. The alma mater of Justin Summer. That's
yes.
really awesome. Yeah.
Yes, I forgot
Sorry, that's my
Psalms
brain.
was.
Just going.
No,
No,
you're fine.
that's great.
Well,
That's awesome.
Part of the
I
research.
actually thought it was funny too because like Binghamton, I'm a Binghamton fan. I'm biased. I think Brant Sherwood is one of the best recruiters in this league. That man really loves to recruit from SUNY schools, and I love it. There's been quite a few SUNY. There's been a few Mustangs. There's been a few Morrisville, um, recruits for Binghamton and for other teams.
The
I've
River
actually told my
Dragons.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
I
But
spent Alex
there's
Storjohn, Scott Doherty, SUNY products too.
I didn't
But
know Stock and Storjahan were SUNY, but I think it's crazy. It's crazy to me now that I'm a SUNY student and then seeing all of the SUNY students trickling into the Fed, and I'm like, I like this. I need to go watch some SUNY hockey.
me
Um,
too. Whenever there's a player that scores a goal and he's from a SUNY school, I'm like, unless they're playing the River Dragons, I don't do that. But shout out to the SUNY players. They're really
yes,
talented, and it's definitely a great place to funnel players.
absolutely. I don't even remember what question I was going to ask now. But so on the spot change like that, just right away, just I'm going to go and I'm going to do this. Where do you see yourself 5 years down the road?
That's a good
Since
question.
we clicked real quick and you on the spot changed everything. So you made that swap so quick. Where do you want to see that go for you now?
Well, the dream is to broadcast in the National Hockey League.
Of
That's the
course.
dream. But with that said, I'm not one of those broadcasters, and many broadcasters, and not just in this league and other leagues, they're always looking to go up. They're always looking at the next step. That's not me. That's not me. I stand here and I sit here right now, super, super proud to be a River Dragon. If I'm here for the rest of my career, I will be one happy camper. At the end of the day, broadcasting in NHL, that's the dream that the little Liam had, the little boy Liam had. But right now, the adult just wants to be happy calling hockey games. And I've never been happier calling hockey games than right here.
I
I
love
love
that so
that.
much. Really quick, we have somebody special in the chat. You know him, Mr. Atticus. He wanted to say nuts to you. So big hello and shout out to Abby. Hope you're doing well, girl. So my question totally just slipped my head. Oh my gosh, it was like actually like something we were just talking about. So anyway, let me just go to the comments really quick. So from Luis Garcia, they want to know what's one decision you made early in your career that had the biggest long-term impact?
It's a good question. I would say just getting myself involved with the radio station, to piggyback off of my previous answer. Yes, I changed my major from history to broadcasting, but I did not get involved with broadcasting hockey games until my senior year, to be honest. And that decision was made in my freshman year. So, I was involved with some analyst work here and there, but play-by-play, it took me until my final year in college to really get involved. So I would say taking that leap and, just saying, hey, I'm good enough, and even if I'm not, I'm going to learn and, I'm going to adjust on the fly. And I would say that was definitely the biggest thing because that got me involved with the radio station WNYO. I was around the team and I was able to do all the things that I wanted to do on top of that, which eventually led me into the professional ranks. And, going into my professional career, I didn't really have that many opportunities. I only had 6 games of play-by-play experience. And, I don't care how good you are, if you have 6 games of play-by-play experience, you're not going to get hired as a play-by-play broadcaster. But it was that leap that I made into the radio station that made me okay with making another leap to Savannah to intern with the Ghost Pirates for 7 months, which eventually led me to Atlanta and now to Columbus. So it's just amazing how one little decision that you make can breed a ton of impact later on.
Oh, wow. And you mentioned the Ghost Pirates, their logo, their colors, some of their theme nights, and just everything, that bright green glow sticks. Like, oh my gosh, I want to go to a game there so bad. I
You
really
can't you can't beat it. Shout out to Brian Sclover, who was the director of game presentation there before their first season. Because I was actually there prior to their inaugural year, so I saw it get built from the ground up. An absolutely incredible show. Shout out to Savannah. I miss all the wonderful people over there. But
Did you know Eddie Fritz? He was video coach there.
I did know Eddie Fritz. Yeah,
Yeah, he used
yeah,
to
he was a
coach
good guy.
for the Rhinos. Yeah, I didn't know him super well, but
Yeah, I don't know him super well either, but again, an integral part to what made the Ghost Pirates again one of the premier organizations in the ECHL. That definitely had a big impact on my time there. And I miss Savannah. It's a special place to go watch a hockey game if you can. I highly recommend it. And Market Arena, it's a good spot.
can I also just kind of throw out there too, like, we're really kind of seeing this episode of like how small the hockey world is. Like, I know we get it, we say it a lot, but I just, sometimes you hear him like, here you are, you know him as the coach for the Rhinos, you know him as the video gentleman, like completely different jobs, but yet at the same time, different parts of the country, and it's a absolutely small community.
It's crazy how much everybody knows everybody somehow, right? If you could name any coach, and between the four of us, we would be able to find somebody in our hockey circles that would know somebody that knew him and have that connection somehow.
Mhm.
The hockey world is such a, it's not a tight knit family because it's all over the freaking world, but the hockey world is such a, it's crazy to me how much it turns into a family and how much everybody knows somebody somehow and how small of a world that it is. But with that being said, you do a ton for the organization that people probably don't know. I think a lot of people think that being the broadcaster, you come in the booth, you call the game, you go home, and that's so not what it is, right? You guys do so much and there's so much behind what you do. Can you tell us a little bit about what a game day looks like for you and what goes into go time, calling the
Abs-
game?
Absolutely, definitely. I would say that a typical game day is honestly a mix of preparation and controlled chaos. In the morning, I'm doing all my research. That's your stats, your storylines, your roster updates, basically building a foundation for what that night's broadcast is going to become. Then in the afternoon, it's kind of media relations mode, writing game notes, coordinating with media who might want to come out to cover the game a little bit later. And then once I get to the rink, it's full broadcast prep, spotting boards, talking to coach, getting last minute info. And then it's go time on the mic for me. So it definitely, I'm at the rink 9 a.m. on a game day. And that's even after a Friday night game day where I don't get out until 12. I'm a rink rat. I love being around it. Even if I'm just sitting there, just legs crossed, just watching the 200-foot sheet of ice right in front of me. Yeah, even if I don't have anything to do, which is very rare, that's the occasion for me. I just love being around the rink and love being around.
I love that. I can see even when you're talking about it, the smile that comes over your face just discussing it. And I remember my question from a second ago. I wanted to know, I kind of have two questions. One is if you got to play in it or broadcast for the NHL, what team would you want if you had an option?
The New York Rangers. I grew up a huge Ranger fan. I grew up on Long Island, New York, one of the very few Long Islanders to not be an Islander fan. But no, to broadcast in Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, that would be special.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I saw Shesterkin actually got into a little goalie fight. So
I saw that last night. That's on me. I was watching the Mets. I was a little in baseball season, but I was watching the Mets, and I just went on my Instagram timeline, and there it was, Shesterkin, throwing down with Markstrom.
yeah,
Most goalie fights, right? You see the goaltender lose their balance, and then they're down on the ground within 5-10 seconds. No, that one lasted a while. That was
yeah, you
legit.
can tell this was not Igor's first rodeo, like at all. He knew what he was doing. So my next question I wanted to ask was, what is your favorite arena to broadcast from on the road?
Oh my goodness, that's a great question. I would say It is the Mississippi Coast Coliseum because of my pregame ritual. My pregame ritual is that I run up the stairs every single section of the upper concourse. And
Wow.
that gets me pumped up. And that's why, I love Columbus, but I love Mississippi just, I love Columbus the most, but road arenas, I love Mississippi the most because it's the steepest stairs and I feel the most accomplished by the time I get up there. I know it's a little weird. I run up the stairs and then I get to the bottom and then I do a high kick in the concourse just to show everybody who's out there who's boss. Yes, a Ryan Hunter celebration type high kick.
I
Ask
love
Sam, you
it.
probably saw it.
Huh. What about ECHL?
Well, it's funny, once I got here to Columbus, I was 100 pounds heavier than I was right now. So I didn't really do any running up the stairs or anything like that. But that's actually where the inspiration came from, to be honest. I was sitting in the broadcast booth in Atlanta, in Greenville, and I looked across the rink 90 minutes before the game started, and their head coach was running suicides up the steps. And I was like, huh, that's pretty cool. So once I got to Columbus, I was like, all right, I'm going to get myself into some shape. And then I was like, well, I got to have some sort of pregame ritual. So I got the high kick and I was like, you know what? Nobody likes running up these steps in Columbus. I've had a lot of people tell me that it's definitely not enjoyable to walk up them. And well, I'm going to be the one that doesn't just walk up them. I'm going to run them. And I'm going to have a smile on my face doing it. And I do it before, like 10 minutes before I go live. So if you ever see me on YouTube Live during home games and I'm sweating, that is your reason why.
That's so cool. I love that.
I'll keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
Very motivating.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-game ritual.
Yeah, I definitely get some side eyes and like, what is that guy doing in a suit running up the steps? But you know what? Anyway, to get you pumped up and ready for the broadcast, that's that's a big reason why I'm able to bring the energy right from the get-go.
Kind of talking about the steps. So if you haven't been to Columbus, once you get up to the upper section, like you're looking down, it's pretty steep type feeling. Do you have a fear of heights at all or anything, or have you had one until you got here? Or
I do have a fear of heights. I do not enjoy elevators. I do not enjoy escalators, and I do not enjoy planes. But those steps aren't too bad, So there's like a ritual within the ritual. So once I get up to the third to last step, I'll jump the final 2 steps. So, that kind of helped me get over the fear. Because, if I miss that step, I'm going, all the way down. But I do have a fear of heights, but not those heights. I enjoy those.
I would fall. I would have a heart attack and die, and then I would fall. Or I would fall and have a heart attack and die. One of the 3 would be happening in one of those orders. We do have a couple of fan questions that I wanted to get to. Mr. Brandon Schwobel asks, who's the best producer you've ever worked with?
You shouldn't even have to ask. He should just get up. He should go to the bathroom and look at himself in the mirror because that's who it is. It's Brandon Schwobel. He is the best. I mean, you see some of the incredible game elements that we have. That's not me. That is Brandon, who has a vision to make this broadcast exceptional, and he executes that game in and game out. I mean, I think we're the only broadcast that has picture-in-picture. So once you see the goal, once the goaltender is getting pulled, even though the play's on the other end of the sheet, you'll still have, a shot of the goaltender vacating the cage. That's all Brandon, and all those graphics running the scoreboard. And again, we have as great a production as we do because of that guy. So shout out to you, Brandon. Shout out to you, Abby, and especially you, Atticus.
Absolutely.
Allie also asked, what has been your favorite themed night of this season?
Earbud fell out. My apologies. I would say Military Appreciation Night. That was absolutely incredible. I heard whispers from so many within and outside of the organization just how incredible of a night that is. And, you can hear it, right? But once you're standing there and, you see all the pregame festivities and just how wonderful of a time that it is, and the community coming together to celebrate those who served and those who have served. It's just super special. And again, I'm grateful to have been able to experience that. and call that game too. That was a thrilling overtime finish. Didn't go our way, but definitely was a lot of excitement for the fans and for myself to boot. And shout out to everybody who has served or is currently serving in any of the branches of our military. We cannot do what we do without you. So.
Yeah, thank you actually for saying that, Liam, so much. We are very veteran friendly over here. In fact, Sam is a veteran, and our producer also a veteran. So shout out to all that served and their families. Like, it's definitely not easy. And I agree. Military night in Columbus, I remember my first one and seeing the guys rappel down. I was like, oh my God, I just like absolutely lost it. I had no idea that was coming. And to this day, still the best puck drop ever seen, or puck delivery. So I have a question. When there is a specialty night, whether you're home or away, how do you deal with when the jerseys and the numbers, the names, they're all kind of hard to see? Are you watching on a screen up close, or are you like actually looking down on the ice following the play?
So Brandon does provide me with a confidence monitor that I'm able to watch the game on if I so choose, but very seldom do I do that. I would say, to my own horn a little bit, but that's probably one of the best parts of my play-by-play is my name recognition. You are going to know who has the puck. When 17 passes it to 44 and then 44 gives it to 8, but turns it over to 14 and then 14 shoots on 35, you're going to know every single player who touched the puck during that shift. So whether it's a specialty jersey or whether it's a regular jersey, I just make sure I'm prepared enough to, alleviate any potential issues that I might have on that game night. But I take a lot of pride in making sure that I get everything correct because, there's friends, there's families watching, these games, and these guys are working so hard out there on the ice. And yeah, again, just the specialty jerseys, I would say, don't really have an impact. And I would also say this, outside, in the ECHL, when we would have specialty jerseys, we would have number mix-ups and all that, like Kirk Underwood, who's normally number 11, would be wearing 44 or whatever, so it'd get a little bit, confusing there. But with the River Dragons, specialty jersey, number stays the same, which as a broadcaster, I appreciate.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Columbus. I'm absolutely a fan, but of course I haven't been to too many other military appreciation night or anything. Did you know that they were going to be coming down from the rafters? Like, did you kind of see the sheet, telling you and stuff? Or did you see him practice at all, or
what? I was there.
That's the first time.
I was there on practice day, and they did offer some of our staff members if we wanted to go up there with them and practice propelling down, which I humbly declined. But there were, that height.
Heights.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I will not go on that catwalk. I won't do it. Seriously, I won't do it. I'll pay somebody else to go do it. But no, they did offer, and I was in the press box when they did practice propelling down, and it was a sight to see then. But then on game night, just with a sold out Civic Center crowd behind them, nothing beat that. And like you said, Anna, it's definitely a spectacle that no other team in hockey really provides for a military appreciation night. So shout out to the entire organization, our owner, Jeff Krupp, who, again, really takes a lot of pride in making sure that our veterans and those who are serving are honored.
So to kind of jump to the next question, sorry. Do you have a favorite fight that you've seen and been able to call so far, and who?
That one's easy. I mean, Scott Doherty versus Divine Apollon, when George Larac paved the way for him. That I did not know.
I was wondering if that was planned, because like strategically from the player's point of view, I'm like, dude, that was good.
I was under the impression that George Larac was going to take a few shifts, and maybe fight Divine Apollon, but nothing was confirmed. I saw them having a conversation during warm-ups, so obviously something of the sort was talked about. But no, that was not planned, to my knowledge. That was just Doc and George being on the ice at the same time, and I got to give credit to George Larac. He faked Divine Apollon out real well, and we finally got the tilt. Me out. We finally got the tilt we've been waiting to see, and shout out to Divine. He's a heck of a fighter. And seeing him and Scott go at it, those are two heavyweights, and what makes our league so amazing and so entertaining game to be.
Mhm.
And that's my favorite call of the season too. Scott Doherty with some divine intervention from Mr. Apollon. Can't get enough of that one. That might be my favorite call.
That's gold.
That's your mic drop moment of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe mic drop moment of the next couple of years. That was a really good call.
Thank you.
So you touched on how the jersey, the alternates don't really, or the theme jerseys don't really trip you up, and you are very good at just being able to announce where the puck is and nobody's missing who has the puck. Do you think it is harder to call a very fast-paced game where we're shooting and we're moving and everything's 100 miles an hour, or one of these slower games where we're obviously still shooting but not that fast-paced, everything's happening all at once kind of game?
Yeah, I would say I go as the team goes. So if it's a fast-paced game, I'm going to be calling the game that way. But if it's being played a little bit methodically, a little bit back and forth, I'll call it that way too. So I really tend to broadcast the way the flow of the game is headed, but which is easier, I would say, when it's going faster. When things are slow and the pace just really isn't there, and there's a lot of whistles in a short amount of time, and they're not dropping the puck on the face-off, it's like, let's go. But when you have two teams that are really flying and really match up well against each other, there's nothing like that. And to be honest, Aaron, that's how I felt when the Moccasins were in town this past weekend. That playoff series, if we face off, is going to be epic.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree. Do you have a prediction for who would come out on top on that one?
Oh, goodness. It would be the River Dragons. Yep. But I don't want to take anything away with the Moccasins, because they are a really, really good group that's banged up right now a little bit. Yanni Liarakos hadn't played in their last few games. I know he returned against Athens earlier this week, but who knows if he's at 100%. Frank Schumacher, their captain, hadn't been playing. We didn't see Corson Green either. So they're definitely banged up right now. But even with that, a short bench, they definitely brought the fight to us this weekend. And while I think the River Dragons are going to win, I don't think it's going to be easy, because the Continental is definitely elite with the teams that we're putting out there coming through the season.
Before we move on, we're going to move on to a game in a second, and there's a quick question in the comments from Julie Going Bananas that we'll throw up. I didn't mean to jump over it earlier, but she wanted to know, what is your favorite candy or snack?
Oh, goodness. All right, so it's between one of two chocolate bars, Kit Kat or a Crunch bar. Obviously, I like the crunch factor of it, but I'm going to go Kit Kat.
Okay. Don't be surprised if you get a bunch this weekend.
Oh, my goodness. I'm
You
on
know
a
how the
diet,
Columbus
guys. I
fan base
can't.
is.
Go and get
Before
them
we move,
I can find.
oh yeah, I've seen those huge ones. Before we move on, we're gonna talk about our sponsor really quick. Their company name is Matraca Time. They take broken hockey sticks and they make them into noisemakers that you can take to games. They make amazing gifts for players, parents, or even just for yourself. So if we could roll their clip really quick.
Let's go!
Are getting the game started. Sam, do you want to go ahead with one more question so we have time to get the game up and going?
You said you do a lot of researching and everything before the games, and you also got the play-by-play and everything. Do you have a book already set aside full of stats for before every game?
I do have a game-by-game media guide that I do update, but no, there isn't some huge book. I started over game to game, to be honest with you. I have my one spotting sheet, and I'll update the information game to game. But I do have my big time media guide, which tells me again the specifics of everything that we've done this season.
It's a lot to keep track too.
It is. But luckily, I got a great team behind me up there in the booth, like we just talked about earlier with Brandon Schwobel and Mike V, the former play-by-play voice of the Columbus Cottonmouths, who's now my color commentator. It's really special.
Oh my God, I forgot to ask. How's it been with him?
Mike is a hoot, I'll tell you that. No, he's hilarious. He's such a terrific hockey mind, and to just be up there in the booth, and we're us play-by-play broadcasters. We're not perfect. There might be some moments during the game where I don't really know why that happened. And then you have someone like Mike V who has years of experience behind him. He's like, oh no, I remember that. And he'll kind of help me learn and adjust. But he's been amazing, and he's not just my color commentator. He's a good friend of mine, which I'm proud to say. And he'll be here throughout the rest of the regular season and the playoffs for our home games. So hopefully we create some more memories.
For sure.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do a new game tonight. Liam is going to be our guinea pig for this, first time ever doing this. So the game is pretty simple, and you guys can guess in the comments if you want to play along. We're going to do a combination of emojis, and then you tell us what you think when it comes to a hockey term that it could, the riddle, I guess, solve it to the term that you think it is.
Everybody watching, please don't judge me if I get this horribly wrong, please.
Some of them are difficult, and some I think will be pretty easy.
I
Okay.
think you've got it.
All right. And hat trick? No, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm sorry. I told you I'm going to be bad at this.
That's okay. The answer should pop up. Let me know if you can see it.
Okay. I don't know why I said hat trick. I'm sorry. All right. What do we got next? Let's move on.
Moving on.
Cherry picking.
Very nice.
Red fantasy.
See,
I
have
don't
some
know.
faith in yourself, Liam.
Yeah,
You've
have
got
some
this.
faith.
I get very nervous under pressure. See my face, how it's getting tomato red right now?
Hey, we're all friends and family here. You're good, I promise.
For sure, yeah.
Oh. 5-hole.
There it is. Good job.
I was like, what is this? Something forecheck, you check? I don't. Checkpoint, point check. No. Poke check.
There it is.
There you
Nice.
go. All right. High stick.
You have the confidence. You're doing great.
See, I think you've got more so far than I did when Anna was showing us them yesterday.
Yeah, I gave them, they were the test run.
You've already got me beat.
Right wing. Extra attacker. I don't know. I mean,
That's,
too many men.
there it is. I was
Thanks,
gonna say, extra
Julie.
attacker's good.
Appreciate you, Julie.
Oh,
Would
nice.
not have gotten it without you.
Shout out to Julie. Thank you. This one's a little
Uh,
tough.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. This one's a little tough. What do you got?
Anybody in the comments?
Hand pass. Hand
There you go.
pass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had a really
yeah,
hard
that's
time
good.
figuring out something to use for pass. So I was like, ticket, it's kind of like a pass. That one's probably the hardest one.
Movie
I
pack.
like that. Uh, Gosh, I feel like I'm gonna butcher this. Phone a friend.
Phone a friend. Okay, anybody in the chat? I sent this to my billets and I asked them, is this too hard, too easy? And then one of them actually sent me this idea back, and I was like, oh, I like it. I'm gonna have to use it. So we'll give you a hint that the heat from the sun is kind of warm.
Okay.
There goes my thought.
Oh.
Sun's out, buns out.
Hmm.
Julie's got it.
I was gonna say Julie's really
Julie's
on
good.
fire.
Julie's good at this.
Yeah, warm-ups. That's good. Thank you, Julie. My dad just texted me too, warm-ups.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Shout out to Dad.
He doesn't want me to embarrass myself. Thanks, Dad.
I think that was the last one.
Listen, don't be
Oh,
embarrassed.
yeah, this is the last one. This one, sorry.
So something reverse. Hmm. What do you got?
Oh.
Wrap around. Julie is just unreal.
Oh yeah, I see it there.
Holy moly,
Julie's like
Julie.
the emoji champion. Like we're definitely gonna have to remember Julie for the future. I might actually just have to track you down online and give you a whole test of some of the others that we have too. So I think you did great though, honestly. Like I said, I did a test run with Sam and Aaron, and some of those are really tough, you know? And like even putting them together, I was like looking through the emojis and I'm like, could this be something? So, you know, not an easy task.
It's unreal. I put so much pressure on myself and I can't get it. Oh man. But no, I think I did okay. I just
Yeah.
No, you did
next
good.
time. Next time.
You did better than I would have. And I got
I
the cheat
appreciate
codes yesterday. And there was still some that I was like, oh, I don't remember
you.
what that was.
No, that was that was a good one. Well put together, Anna. That was definitely well done.
Thank you.
I got it. I got it. We did it. We did it. So we definitely talked about being the broadcaster and stuff, and Luis Garcia had also mentioned it. But so it's kind of like a two-part question. First part, do you think the perspective of where you're at, usually up in the boxes and stuff, where the crowd is loud and stuff, has that impact on the game? Or with you being up as high, you don't hear it as much?
Yeah, I would say most arenas outside of two are, pretty high up with where their press boxes are. I'd say the two outliers, one is Winston-Salem, and the other is Indiana, with the Sentinels. But again, most places I call a game, I enjoy calling it from that bird's eye view. And I've been adjusted to that, kind of since my college days and since my time in Atlanta. In Atlanta, I was calling it way up from the catwalk. So, it's not too different from me being at places like, the Civic Center and the Mississippi Coast Coliseum, where I'm way out there. But it definitely does provide a different perspective. In Indiana, it was a little bit tougher to see, calling the game from the corner. But I'll tell you what, shout out to that crew over in Indiana. They are doing a wonderful job over there. And it must not be easy, but they had everything set up for me really, really well. And I just want to thank them and give them a special shout out because they're a really good organization and they're going places. So shout out to the Sentinels and thank you for the hospitality when I was there. But to answer your question, Sam, it definitely is different. And in Winston-Salem, with the way I get animated, I've made some enemies, over there, so, I try to have some people turn around and just be like, oh, you're a little too, I'm sorry. It's just the way I am.
I'm the
Listen,
prince. I can be.
you probably made enemies in Twin Cities the second you signed a contract with the Columbus River Dragons. So don't feel too bad about that. They were not gonna like you anyway.
You didn't read the fine print, very, very bottom. You will become an enemy of the Thunderbirds.
I want to be liked though, but I
Uh,
understand that there's some animosity, Didn't get to
just
face
a
them too
little.
much this year, so
Yeah, I think what was it, like 6 games or something? Wasn't a lot.
6 times and just twice in Columbus, which is odd. But no, we've been able to create some new rivalries with PD and expand what we've got going on with Athens, and of course Monroe, much better season this year. So
So the Fed is notorious for crazy bus stories. Back in the days, it was crazy bus stories along the lines of constantly breaking down, ending up in shady places.
yeah,
But what is your craziest bus story? Either a breakdown story or Doherty getting crazy on the bus. Not that I know of any stories. I'm not insinuating Scott Doherty's done anything on the bus. But what's your craziest bus story? Your funnest bus story?
I'll tell you what, not too many crazy bus stories early on with the River Dragons because we have really cool musician style tour bus. So there's like leather beds, stacked 3 high all the way down. So it pretty much is a luxurious experience, and so not a lot of risk of breaking down. And shout out to our friends or to our bus driver, actually Jack, who just does an amazing job, and our equipment staff too, for just making all of those trips seamless. But to answer your question, I wouldn't say that there's one specific moment, but the rapport that I'm able to gain with the players, just being on the bus, it's definitely interesting. I made a lot of friendships, just sitting and talking with the guys, not even about that night's game, just what's going on in the world, what's going around the NHL. So that's been really nice. And, 2 players in particular that I've been able, to get very close with due to our time on the bus. Josh Colton, number 5, who is an FPHL lifer, and Cody Wickline, who is just amazing person and player too. So just being able to get to know them more, and all of the guys, but most of them like to stay in the back, but Wicks and Colts, they stay up front, and we have some nice conversations together. And I will say this too, on top of that, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're okay.
My time in Atlanta too, even though I'm not there right now, I had one of the most amazing bus drivers who drives for Kelly Tours, I believe. His name is Roland Karen, who I miss just so much. We would go to every single city, and we would go to a different restaurant together, and we would get good eats, and we would walk around, and he would do anything for me. And I guess to share my craziest story on that note, when I was in the ECHL last year, I was in Florida. We were playing the Everblades. We never won in Florida. So I'm really excited, right? I love calling games on the road. First time we can beat Florida and, how many years, whatever. I think we had lost like 15, 16 straight games against them. I'm getting ready to broadcast. I turn on my board. Everything's all great. 6:30. I go live at 7. Game starts at 7:30. Turn my board on. Craps out on me. Completely goes out. That's a $900 board that just died. And they had no update for me. My bus driver, Roland, took me in the bus to Best Buy, then to Guitar Center after that Best Buy didn't have it, to buy a new board so I could go back to Estero and call the game. And
Wow.
that's the most heroic thing that anybody has ever done for me personally. So shout out to you, Roland. Thank you for that. And I didn't even get the broadcast that night, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Aw.
All
We
that.
lost, so it's okay. We lost.
Did they win against Florida that night?
No, we did not beat Florida that entire season. And then the second I left Atlanta, the first game that they played against the Everblades this season, they beat him. So, but hey, shout out to the Gladiators. They're having a fantastic year. They're going to make the playoffs for the first time in several seasons. So if you're not just a watcher of the FPHL, be sure to watch the ECHL as well. My successor, Guy Sharenza, does a great job over there in the coast. So congratulations to them. But that would be my craziest story.
So before we move into our next segment, which is the hot seat, I have a question. If you have a younger fan or maybe somebody that wants to get into broadcasting, do you have any advice on maybe the path they should follow?
Absolutely. Take any and every opportunity that comes your way. That's what I'd say. My one regret sitting here right now is that I did not get involved earlier. I called my first game during my senior year of college. And if I was able to start 4 years earlier and take the 4 years of development that I have right now and go into the professional world, not to say that, things could have gone a little bit differently for me, but I could have, made a little bit more advancements than I have. So I would just say, get involved early. Don't be shy. Put yourself out there. The first time you're going to do anything, you're going to be pretty bad at it. I tried a few new things here, swing dancing here in Columbus, absolutely terrible at it. I ice skated today at the Civic Center ice rink, terrible at it, so again, just don't be afraid to try new things and follow your dreams. Life's about following your dreams. So if you're dreaming big and you're thinking, man, I can't do this, I want to go to the NHL, but it may not be in the cards for me. No, it's in the cards for you, I promise. And I'll give you one story as to why it's in the cards for you. Kevin Burkhardt, may not know who Kevin Burkhardt is, but he was selling cars, I believe, at 28, 29 years old, car salesman, wanted to be a broadcaster. I believe he's in his 40s now. He called last year's Super Bowl.
Wow. In the off season, I need to hire you as a life coach because just that little bit of follow your dreams, dude. I was like, hell yeah, you follow your dreams. So,
what's life about if you're not going to follow your dreams? Guys, I broadcast. I do this because I absolutely love it. Some people may like my energy. They may dislike my energy on the call for better or for worse. But that's not because I'm trying to put on a show. That's not because I'm trying to be the loudest guy in the Fed. That's because every time I put that headset on, I love it. I love it. It's just such a joy. So that's my passion coming out right there. So I get fired up, and I get fired up because that's how I'm feeling, really, really blessed to be able to do this. So follow your dreams. If you think your dream is too big, guess what? Dream bigger. That's what I'd say.
You need to drop like a Go Time merch line.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
I would buy it.
Me too.
That was my dad. That was my dad who kind of just was just like, yeah, your last name's Gotimer. Why don't you just kind of make something out of Go Time? And, and again, shout out to my family too. I can't do what I do without them,
Yeah.
See us broadcasters.
Good call, Dad.
Oh my goodness. It's my best friend.
Oh,
My best friend in the whole world.
love that.
I would absolutely love, if you remember a few years ago, they had like a kids night, and there was a younger kid that was helping with the broadcasting.
Mhm.
His type of energy with Liam's together.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
yes.
my God,
Bring
yes.
that kid back, and you guys do a kids night. Oh my goodness. I remember another big save. Even the people in bingo still make signs based on everything was a big save that night, even if it hit the glass. You know what I mean? But the energy he brought, I swear, I hope he follows his road to broadcasting because he had me fired up.
I'll have to look like
That
what
kid
him-
was great.
And you know what? I'll say this on that note, guys. In Atlanta, it's not something I've done in Columbus because I just wanted to get my feet underneath me during my first season. But in Atlanta, I initiated a first ever program called On the Call, where you could go and purchase a period and come and broadcast with me in the booth. And
Wow.
we had around 70 to 80 guests, that season throughout the year. I'll tell you this, probably 40 out of the 80 purchases, at least half, made by a young gentleman named Ethan Esther, who wanted to be a broadcaster, 10, 11 years old. He would come up with me and we would broadcast in Atlanta together. So that's a little sneak preview of what I'm going to be bringing to Columbus next year. So fans, you're going to have the opportunity to come up in the booth and broadcast with me live.
Wow,
if you
how
want.
cool is that?
Yeah.
I'm coming down. I'm gonna have to do that.
Hey, Sam, I need to stay in your closet for one night because I'm coming to a Columbus game and purchasing a period.
There's a period for all three of you guys. I
That
got
would
it
be so
written
cool.
down
We
right
could do a
now.
10-minute night.
Yeah. And I see Julie here who wants to become a broadcaster too. You know, if you have any questions, you know, I'd be happy to answer or reach out, you know, help you on your journey. And that goes for anybody who's in the chat who may want to get into broadcasting, you know, happy to pay it forward and share some experiences.
Where could they find you? On your socials, or how would you prefer they reach out?
Via email would be easiest. Not too active on socials. My email is liamg@rdragons.com. That's liamg@rdragons.com. We have another message in the chat. Mascots are going to come back up. Two best mascots in hockey, Scorch and Torch, came up, visited me in the booth a couple of games ago. They left. We scored. Good luck, Charm, Scorch, and Torch. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, shout out to you, Mr. Boss. Definitely my favorite. Okay, so we're gonna move into the hot seat, and the way the hot seat works is it's just a super quick kind of rapid fire. We'll kind of ask you a question or kind of put you in a direction, and then you can tell us either who it reminds you of that's your coworker or a player for the team. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, so out of everybody, who is the best to interview or easiest on camera?
Kirk Underwood. And before him, probably Kevin Saban. He was media trained over during his time overseas, so he was pretty good. Wish him well in Blue Ridge.
Same. We've had both on this season. We've been very fortunate. And I really quick before we move on, I want to thank you for that because we work with you a lot to get our players and our guests and things on for the fans. So big shout out to you because you have made things very pleasant, and I just appreciate the relationship we have with you and the Dragons. So thank you.
Of course, guys, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. And you guys do such a wonderful job. So continue to support the 10-Minute Misconduct podcast and hear your favorite
Thank
River
you.
Dragons, coming your way soon.
That's awesome. Who's the jokester?
Oh goodness. Brody Thornton, without a doubt.
I can see
That guy is hilarious. I mean,
Oh, he's the best.
he can just look at me and I'll just start dying laughing.
Who's most likely to get a fine from one of their teammates?
A fine for one of their teammates?
From one of their teammates.
Oh, from one of their teammates. I would say Skate Scaldy.
See that.
I love Skate. Skate is just an epic person.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That would be a fun interview.
Yeah, honestly, if we could set it up, even if it's at the beginning of next season, anytime, we would love to have Skate on.
Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to him. See what's up.
Okay, that'd be great. Who is always hiding when the interviews come around, or media? If you want them to do a funny TikTok or something like that, who's hiding in the locker room?
There's one player turns around and wants no part of it. And let's see if Shelby, our wonderful social media manager, beats me to the punch here in the chat. Cody Wickline, no doubt. Cody
Interesting.
Wickline.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, Wiki.
There's my Wiki. But I love Wix. He's awesome. But I think the social team definitely wants a few more answers out of him.
Some of the TikToks, he's quick answered. Yes.
Yeah, he's. Yes. Goodbye.
Who was the person, like the rest of the team, put in like timeout?
I'm not going to say Scaldy again because I already said Scaldy. I'll go with. Oh man, I don't really know. I guess let's go with Kyle Moore.
Who's gonna last the longest in the zombie apocalypse? And who's gonna go first in the zombie apocalypse?
Oh, hell yeah. Love that. The person who's going to last the longest in the zombie apocalypse is Mr. Mike Wynn. That guy is just built exceptionally well. And yes, I would want to be with that man fighting next to him if there was a zombie apocalypse. And the first to go, I would say, would be... Oh God, I don't want to make an enemy here. Let's go Ryan Hunter.
All right.
Who always surprises you? Whether it's good or bad, just maybe the answers to something or those random acts of kindness that they're not doing to be put on display, but just somebody that surprises you in a good way.
That's a great question. I would say Justin Sommerell. That guy works his tail off. So shout out to Justin. He's a forward playing on defense this year for us, and he has just been absolutely outstanding. Doesn't get enough credit. So Soms, you're an awesome player, and we need you. So thank you for everything you've done. And yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. Shout out to Soms.
Who snores the loudest?
Oh, well, Ryan Hunter. Yeah. He sleeps on the bottom bunk next to me, and yeah, somehow he seeps through my earbuds from time to time.
Who has the best pregame music?
I don't know who the pregame playlist belongs. I'll go with Kirk because the playlist got to be coming from the captain, and so I'll say Captain Kirk Underwood.
Who is most likely to get or fall for a prank?
Most likely to fall for a prank. That's a good one too. I will go with Ryan Galvin.
Who is more than likely the person who does like the word puzzles or Sudoku, word finder or something like on the bus trip?
My answer would be let's go with Alexander Jemayev.
Who's most likely to get into a fight with the mascot?
Get into a fight with a mascot. Jerome Boom Boom Beeshide. No.
That's a great answer. I can see it.
Yeah, nope, that one got me. I could see that one.
I would also say, Scaldi, Doc. No.
So before we wrap up, if you could say anything to your fans and your coworkers, what would you like to say to them?
Yeah, first to my coworkers, you guys are just amazing, and to those who are watching right now, I appreciate you guys so much. And really, the mark of a successful organization is everybody within that front office coming together towards a common goal. And I could say in every single department that the River Dragons have, we do that, and we are knocking this season out of the park, and it's not stopping here. We're ready to have the Civic Center rocking and rolling come our first playoff game, which is, I believe, is tentatively April 17th. But our staff just works tirelessly. Our manager of business operations, Mac Hill, he's our heartbeat. So I love you, Mac. Kirk Underwood, our captain and our director of sales. You talk about somebody who lives and breathes this organization. That's Kirk. All the funny TikToks that you see, that's Shelby Smith, who is in the chat right now, and that's Caroline Connor, who is an intern under Shelby. I cannot tell you how hard these two work in order to get amazing content for you fans. So really, I cannot say enough good about all those who I work alongside with. It's a wonderful, wonderful group of individuals. Jen Brown, our ticket manager, who's handling so much right now with the playoffs coming up, and working such long hours. Kirsten Neese, who handles our merchandise, so many great designs. I really don't want to leave anybody out. Eric Souders, our assistant equipment manager, Jack Berry, our head equipment manager, and our bus driver, Jeff Krupp, our owner. I mean, just this organization is like no other I've ever experienced, working for, or, just even knowing for a small amount of time. I don't mean to toot our own horn, but we are elite. And we are the upper echelon of the ECHL and how to run an organization, FPHL, and how to run an organization and how to do it well. And to the fans, I would just say thank you so much for the fan support. I mean, just know that every single time I look in the chat after a game on YouTube Live and I see a positive comment here or there, or you're talking good about one of the players, it really brings a smile to my face. And, and even if, you don't like what you see, you don't like what you're watching, that's okay too. You're still watching. So I appreciate that. But no, to the fans, we can't do what we do without you. The support has been just absolutely incredible, whether that's been on YouTube Live, whether that's been, at the Civic Center itself. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you. And let's go River Dragons. That's what I'd say.
Liam, I just want to say,
one more shout out. Dana Barker, best PA announcer in the Federal Prospects Hockey League.
Yep, you got that right. Well, Liam, before we let you go, we have one question from Allison. We've asked it on almost every episode for 4 seasons. But before that, I just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You've been great. We love your energy. I don't think there's any haters out there, but, if there are, oh well, because the energy that you're bringing and the love that you have for the organization, it's absolutely palpable. So thank you for being you. And anytime you want to come back, you're welcome on. And Sam, you want to take us home?
Last question. And you're from New York.
Oh, yeah.
Do pineapples go on pizza?
Sam, Anna, Aaron, yes, they do.
Absolutely. Yes, they do.
You know why? Because if that makes you happy, do what makes you happy. Who am I to sit here and tell you that you can't put pineapples on your pizza? No. You do what makes you happy. If you enjoy putting cupcakes on your pizza, go for it. It's not exactly my cup of tea. I'm more of a buffalo chicken, barbecue chicken kind of guy.
You are a New Yorker, aren't you?
Yeah. Big time New Yorker. I like that. I missed out on the hot honey trend. I feel, a little bit of FOMO. But I would say, yes, pineapple belongs on pizza, because if you want it to be on your pizza, it should be on your pizza. And don't let anybody tell you that it shouldn't.
Well, challenge by the end of the season.
It
doesn't.
No,
it doesn't. Oh,
No.
I was like, bro, sold. You sold me. That was good.
CRD fan gave that one to me. But no, my legit answer is that it does, and that you should do it. Lock it in.
Locked in. Okay. Well, Liam, it's been great having you here. We appreciate you so much, and we wish you guys the best of luck on the rest of the season. And we look forward to everything you have in store for us for the future.
Well, of course, guys. It was absolutely my pleasure. This has been a wonderful time, and let's go River Dragons. Can't wait for the playoffs to start.
It's go time.
It's go time. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.